and wellness fitness products. And today we are launching another brand new product to add to your home gym so that you can enjoy working out or working on improving how your body functions from the convenience of your home. And today is a special day in that we are releasing a new product called the ShinBlitz, okay, the ShinBlitz Trainer. And so I'm going to explain kind of how that works. But for those of you who enjoy running or walking or cycling or doing anything fitness related and you're having trouble with shin splints or having issues with your knees or with your feet, we are providing you a product today that is going to help you in strengthening a lot of the muscles in the lower part of your leg that are a little bit more tricky at times because of having the convenience of products or resources without having to go and see a therapist. Now you can have it from the convenience of your home. We are streaming live today on 3 different channels between Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. So if you can give me a thumbs up and let me know that you're here listening in. We are running just a few minutes late today, but I don't know about you, but here in Indiana, it was like in the really comfortable 50s, low 50s, high 40s yesterday, and today it's snowing. So it's a little bit of a roller coaster ride with weather around here. So I'm curious to see what the weather pattern is like in other areas, being that we are in the later part of our winter months and hopefully transitioning into those spring moments of March coming. So we're halfway through February, which means a lot of snow in certain places, and which means you're not able to get outside. So we want to make sure that we are preparing for those mini marathons, those 5Ks, getting on the bike outdoors, going for a walk, because being able to be outside and breathing fresh air and feeling solid is really important. So does everybody hear me okay? So if you can all give me a thumbs up that you can hear me okay. I'm speaking live through my speaker as opposed to using my AirPods today. Oh, so I'm seeing raining and in the 50s tomorrow, and tomorrow's supposed to be, I know, right? The wave of weather is a tricky one. I don't know about you guys, but I unfortunately suffer from autoimmune disease. I have fibromyalgia, so my body naturally feels worse when it's really, really cold, or when we have these different waves of weather patterns that come through. And so when our body starts to hurt a little bit more, we have to biohack just a little bit more into how we can feel the best version of ourselves possible. So I'm seeing that we're having some challenges with sound. Are we all hearing me okay? Okay, a bit of a challenge. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab my AirPods really quick and see if I can. Okay, let's do this. I'm going to cut and redo so that I can actually go with my speaker in so they can actually hear me. So stay tuned. I just need 30 seconds. We've had to do this before, unfortunately. But my AirPods are all ready, so just give me 30 seconds. I'm going to read so you get a better sound and visual. Okay, so hang on tight. Oh. Okay, let's see if we can try this again. I know that we have been struggling with sound, so give me a thumbs up if you can hear me now. Now we've got the speaker on, we've got the microphone on, and we have reset, so hopefully we don't have any sound issues. So let me know if we are thumbs up for go. Yay! We're good, we're good, we're good. So welcome back, everybody. Again, sorry for the inconvenience of our sound challenges. I tell you what, when it rains, it pours, and today is one of those days between the snow and unexpected things. So I'm glad to be back, and today it's an awesome day because we get to share, we get to talk, we get to hear, we get to move, and so it's truly gratitude, and it's greatest in that we truly get to embrace the simplistic things, just truly being able to have a voice and being able to hear. So I do apologize for the delay and getting all this situated, but we're here now. So let's go ahead and get on with the show. Today, so we are releasing a new product today, and it's called the ShinBlitz, and you can see it behind me over here in this box. And it is referred to as a tibialis anterior trainer. I'm going to get into that here in just a second because I want to make sure you understand the anatomy and understanding what its purpose is. Because if you're like me, when I saw the picture on the box, I'm like, not quite sure how to use this piece of equipment because I've never seen it in a gym before. But that's what's wrong is when I saw it at the gym, it was the $1,000 plus version, and this version is only $39.99 for the launch price today, and it's just as good as the one at the gym if you have the idea of how to use it, you have proper instruction on how to use it, and why it is an important piece of equipment for those of you who might be athletic or runners or having challenges with your shins or with knees. So it's a really, really neat piece of equipment. I've been working on it this morning, trying to put the exercises together so that we could make this work for all of you. And again, Joel is always, what I love about Life Pro and Joel, they are always innovating the most cutting edge products for the convenience to you use at home for a super fraction of the price of what it actually costs in the real world of commercial fitness. And so today, again, because we are running a launch price and a special price today for a limited time only, again, it's only $39.99, normally $89.99, my friends. It's normally $89, but today it's $39.99 for those of you who purchased it for the launch event. So I'm going to get into just a second exactly what it is. But as we were talking about earlier, because we're in the month of February, for those of you who live in those chilly winter areas in which you don't get to go outside and jog or walk or enjoy warm sunshine weather, you might be exercising indoors. And so when we go from working out on a treadmill or on a bike to actually taking it to the outdoors where you're actually making contact with ground, with earth, we've got slants on the roads as opposed to a flat treadmill belt. And we happen to have, the bike inside and having to steer and engage with our core outside. It takes a lot of different muscles in order to bring that exercise full circle together and being able to use our body at the greatest potential possible without causing further harm. And so in order for our body to withstand impact with the ground, we have to make sure that the muscles in our lower extremity and in our feet are strong enough for us to be able to absorb energy. Because if we don't absorb energy properly through our feet, then we have to create energy within ourselves, which costs a lot more energy, costs a lot more pain and compensation, and that's ultimately what leads to the knee, the hip, and the foot injuries. So this is more about injury prevention than it is about getting big and muscular, because the ShinBlitz is more about preventative and for rehabilitative purposes than for let's get big and strong and build big muscles, because it's essentially for a few muscles in the lower extremity, but it's a very specialized piece of equipment that is great if you're wanting to do some preventative corrective exercise maintenance with the resource without having to get creative at home and coming up with different ways on how to get into positions to do that. So we're going to make it super easy for you. For those of you who don't know, I love working with feet. I love working with the lower legs. It's one of my niches in working with people. So between plantar fasciitis, shin splints, compartment syndrome, tibialis posterior tendonitis, peroneal tenosynovitis, patella tendonitis. I know I'm like talking tendonitis, itis. Well, what is itis? Itis is inflammation. That's what that means. And so if we can prevent itis, then you get to enjoy your life without having to slow down and figure out how to fix. And that's what we're here for. And being in the medical profession of sports medicine, and I'm also a speed and agility coach, I can give you all of the secrets on how to work on your feet, work on your lower legs into a better version of you, so that when you do want to go out and enjoy the green space outdoors, or walk on your treadmill at home, or ride your bike, or whatever it is you like to do, maybe even just going up and down stairs, you can do that pain-free, and you can work on it from a preventative or corrective standpoint from the convenience of home. 25% of the bones in the whole human body are in the foot and ankle complex alone. And so how our body absorbs energy through the arch of our foot, it is initially meant to be a springboard, like a diving board. And as our body absorbs energy and spring loads back out, that's what gives our body the ability to move forward, or whichever direction we're traveling. All the energy we need is being able to absorb through the ground. But the problem is, most of us are wearing manipulative footwear, or we're wearing insoles, or we're wearing shoes that don't work for us, or our feet are just completely turned off. Or maybe we're just getting started. We're going from couch potato to 5K in a matter of 30 days. So regardless of what kind of foot, ankle pain, lower extremity pain you might have, or wanting to prevent pain, if we can improve the energy absorption and transition or transfer through our feet up through the lower legs and into our core power vacuum here, the better you're going to feel, and the more endurance you're going to have, and all the different things you're going to be able to do without having to break down. So that's what I'd like to share with you today. The ShinBlitz is very specific to training the tibialis anterior muscle. And so I'm talking language in anatomy. So I want to make sure you all understand what that means. And so I have this awesome model here that will show you exactly which that muscle is and how it works. So when we look at this visual, I know some of you are not comfortable with looking at skeletal pictures, but this is what we look like beneath the surface, okay? And we have lots of little muscles through here. And so the ShinBlitz today is going to be focused on more of working in the muscle that is highlighted yellow, okay? And this muscle, its job is to pick your foot up, and as you push off, controlling you going forward. And so this muscle starts all the way up into your knee, on the outside of your knee, and it crosses over onto the inside of the foot, okay? So you can see it right there, that little yellow tendon down there into the foot. So yes, if you have a weak tibialis anterior muscle, and if you're not able to pick your foot up and transfer the energy, or if we have pain in the top of our foot or on the inside of our foot, there's a good chance that that muscle is not working the way it's supposed to. And so what I love about this, let's show you the different motions. And so the job of that muscle is literally to pick your foot up. And so you can see, whoops, my skeleton just went bonkers. There we go. So you can see the job of that muscle is to pick your foot up and to activate your big toe. If you don't have the ability to use your big toe, then your booty muscle can't fire, your hips can't fire, and you have to work a lot harder in your low back. So believe it or not, by actually fixing this muscle, you can eliminate and fix low back pain. It's really that simple. Okay, so that's one of our motions. The other motion that it has is the ability to roll our foot inward, okay? And in order to do that, it's going to pull inward in order to pick your foot up and for us to be able to push off of our big toe, which is what gives us the ability to run. And so if you struggle with doing stuff with your big toe, it's really hard to run. You have to have your big toe for balance in order to be able to push forward and to activate that booty muscle all the way up the back side of your body. So this is our tibialis anterior muscle, and this is the muscle that I'm going to show you how to work today. Now, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. So if the tibialis anterior muscle is pulling my foot up, there is another muscle on the backside that is being stretched in order to control the lengthening phase of that, and that is the backside. So I'm going to show you what that muscle does, because if we are using the device, the ShinBlitz, to strengthen the front of our leg, we can actually use it to strengthen the back of our leg too. So I'm going to show you how that works. And so when we turn our little model around here, and we're going to go a few layers underneath. So we have lots and lots of layers of muscles, lots of layers. Check that out. Lots of layers, okay? And so that is we've got one of our perineal muscles here is on the outside. If we add an extra layer of muscles, now we have another one of our muscles which activates into our big toe. And then after we add another layer of muscles, there is our soleus muscle. This is one that we use a lot in order to be able to jog and control the energy when we're jogging at a slower pace, or we're going more for endurance. When we are running explosively or we're skipping sprinting, we're using more of our gastrocnemius, and the soleus lies directly underneath of that. So we're going to add another layer. Whoops, that was connective tissue. That's your fascia that we're showing there. Okay, so then there's the rocket boosters. I like to call those the rocket boosters. And the rocket boosters are the gastrocnemius muscles. Okay, but here on the inside, boom, there's our soleus muscle there on the inside. If I drop down a muscle layer or two, let's kick off our connective tissue here so we can actually see what's going on here. And there we go. So we had to go a few layers deep. So this muscle right here is our tibialis posterior muscle. And for those of you who have shin splints, this is typically the muscle that causes the problem, and it's on the inside of your shin, whereas the tibialis anterior is on the outside of your shin. So this muscle actually comes down on the inside, and it does a little bit of a different movement than what the other one does. It actually pulls your foot inward from a different perspective, but again, it's so deep and it's on the other side. So we're actually operating this muscle as well when we're working the ShinBlitz. And again, the job of this muscle is rolling your foot. So if this is my big toe, it is rolling the foot to the inward, to the outside. So rolling outside. Okay, so hopefully that makes some sense to you. So there's a lot of, so I think that's really cool to be able to share that with you, how many layers of muscles we really have, because what we think we have and what we actually have. So we can see these little red muscles that are in the foot, okay? And so using the ShinBlitz will also help with improving strength there. And then let's just start adding a few layers, okay? So lots and lots of muscles, and I don't even have the big guns up there. So the top guns, as I like to call them, the varsity starters, are still barely being seen here. And so that's all of our muscles in our lower leg. But the one that's really important is the anterior tib, and it's the muscle responsible for picking your foot up. It has the second largest tendon in the lower body next to the Achilles tendon. So if you get pain on the inside of your foot, on the inside of your shin, so if we get pain right here or right here, like a sharp shooting pain, that is what we're dealing with. Okay, so you'd like to get a better visual of those muscles. Oh, okay, so I'll bring them up closer. Sorry about that. Here, let's just do this. Let's just pop this guy off of here, and then I don't have to worry about the glare. Okay, so there's your anterior tibialis muscle. Okay, so it's highlighted in yellow. Okay, and so let's show what the action is. So the action, this is the front of the foot. Okay, so the front of the foot, highlighted yellow. The job of that muscle is to pick your foot up so that you can walk. So if you have a drop foot deformity, a lot of people who have MS have that problem. When their body heat increases, they struggle with being able to pick their foot up, and that's the muscle that picks the foot up. The other part of that is it does what's called inversion, and inversion means that it's rolling the big toe inward. So it's rolling your whole foot to the inside, okay? Trying to make sure I keep my camera straight here. So we're rolling to the inside, as you can see, okay? And as I mentioned a while ago, the tibialis posterior, if we go back here, decrease our layers of muscles here. And so there's the back side, okay? And so these muscles right here are super deep. So that's about as deep as it goes, and that's your tibialis posterior. And that muscle is really deep. So it takes a lot of specialization in order to strengthen that muscle, which the ShinBlitz trainer that we are releasing today will actually be able to help you to do that. And again, its job is to roll the foot inward as well. So it's like bringing your big toe inward towards the inside of your body instead of taking your foot away from your body. So this is from the back side of your body, and if we turn it around to the front side of the body, that's what it does, okay? But it's actually a muscle on the back side, okay? And so that's what we're trying to work on today. And so if we increase the layers of muscles here, I'm just increasing one layer at a time,
There are lots and lots and lots of muscles, okay? And those muscles up here, even though this is where the muscle bellies are, the muscles actually attach down there at the bottom where those little bandy cords are, and those are the tendons. And so if you have pain in the top of your foot, there's a good chance that you have what's called tendonitis. And so we fix that by trying to strengthen the muscles further up into the leg. But if you also notice on here, when we're looking at the tibialis anterior, it actually attaches right below the knee. So if you've had a total knee replacement, or there we go. So if you've had a total knee replacement, this is one of those muscles that we need to work on. And the ShinBlitz will help you if you had a total knee replacement and we're needing to strengthen those muscles so that you're not cheating in how you move. The ShinBlitz will help you in strengthening those muscles all the way up here into where it inserts into the knee. Sorry, the glare is challenging when I'm not up close. There we go. So you can't see the outline of the knee, but right here is where it attaches. So a lot of people who have IT band syndrome, okay, if you've been told that you have IT band syndrome, whoops, okay, this is right here. Let's see if I can knock. There we go. So that band of tissue right in here, it looks really white because I can't distract from, there we go. There we go. So it's all about the glare. This tendon, or this part, it's not even a tendon, that piece of connective tissue right there, that's your IT band. And so people who have pain on the outside of their knee, technically it can actually be the anterior tibialis that is causing the problem, because if you look how close that attaches next to that IT band, okay, so IT band is right here, and tibialis anterior muscle attaches right there. So if we're able to improve the strength of your lower leg, then it improves the impact and the compressive forces and absorption of the knee joint. Okay, so the question is, if this muscle is weak, does it also impact ability to adduct, abduct thighs? Yes, absolutely, okay? So here's the thing. If you have, let me make sure you all understand this, because this can get a little confusing. When people tell you that you are weak, does that mean that the muscle doesn't work very well, or does that mean that the muscle is tight, or does that muscle just not work in the way that it's supposed to? Because some of our muscles are meant to be stabilizers, and some of them are meant to be primary movers. When it comes to the tibialis anterior, it is actually a action type muscle. So its primary job is to pick your foot up to take you forward. If this muscle is really short, or really, if it's short naturally, meaning that it's really tight, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's weak or that it's strong. That gets really confusing because you can have a short muscle and it can be very weak. If it's not able to absorb energy and transfer it by being able to contract and transfer, it doesn't matter one way or the other if it's short or long, because long muscles can transfer energy much the same, but on an eccentric level, okay? So we get really challenged with when we're looking at anatomy, but if we are, the easiest way to put this is if my body is really tight on this side, our lateral line, then this side is really loosey-goosey. So if this side is long, this side is short, you can't have one or the other. You can't have short and short, or you would like rip off. So if my IT band, if you're being told that your IT band is tight, first of all, let me just tell you, the IT band cannot be tight because the IT band is not a muscle. It is a piece of connective tissue fascia that attaches other surrounding muscles into the knee space. And so we like to say in the world of medicine and fascial connective tissue, we don't have a tight IT band, we are carrying more tension along that pathway. And so if we're carrying more tension along the outside of our body, then that means the inside of our body is really not working much at all to transfer energy. And that has to start from the foot, because most often the foot is in contact with the ground and all energy transfer starts from the ground, or whatever's in contact with the ground. So if you've been told that you have a tight IT band, you're carrying a lot more tension in your hips and along your thigh, which means that your adductors, your thigh groin muscles, are not working to stabilize you, but it starts from activation at the bottom of the foot. So if you're not using those muscles and grounding properly from the bottom of your foot, it cannot activate the sequence of energy to come up the center like it's supposed to. It gets really technical, but I'll be honest with you. Most all injuries that are going on at the knee, if you have had a confirmed ACL tear, or you're getting a total knee replacement, or you have a ligamentous tear or meniscus tear, all these different things that happen, the knee is a hinge joint, so it is only meant to open and close. When we're looking at the knee joint, it's a hinge. So it's meant to open and close like a door, okay? It is not really meant to teeter-totter side to side. So if this is my knee joint, it's not meant to do this, and it's not meant to do this, because it is a hinge joint, just open and close, okay? So if we start opening, closing, and teeter-tottering and rotating, then we are getting more motion through the knee, okay? The job of the knee is to attach the foot to the hip, because the foot ankle joint is supposed to be mobile and our hip is supposed to be mobile. And so in order to be able to move and to be able to survive, as humans have been created to do, the knee is what allows that coupling to happen. But the problem is when we have challenges with weak feet and weak lower legs, then when those structures are weak and can't support us, then the knee has to collapse or torque or do things it's not supposed to do, which then places, whoopsie, there goes my model, which then places more strain all the way up into the hip. So if you've been told that you have a weak butt muscle and that your butt's not firing, okay, then more than likely you have knee pain. And if you have knee pain, then one of the first things they're going to do is try and fix your hip and your butt. But you actually need to go and strengthen your feet and your lower legs first, because you're chopping your body apart and trying to create energy up here, but you haven't dealt with the energy that contacts with the ground. So we have to start at the ground, and the ShinBlitz will do that with how we're going to execute fixing the foot and the shin and the ankle and strengthening. If you've had an ankle sprain, it's a great piece of equipment for ankle sprain. So I can show you how to use that as well. Anywhere that you see white in the anatomy, you can't stretch. That's if you've been told that that's tight, you're just carrying more tension along that line, okay? Because it's not a muscle. Its job, being that it's thick and fibrous, is to attach anything red to where it's supposed to be attached. So if you are looking up here, for instance, up here in the low back, there's that big shield. For a lot of people who have low back pain, it takes about 3,000 pounds of force in order to actually stretch that white shield of tissue out, because it's thick, fibrous connective tissue, fascia. It's the thoracicolumbar junction. And so its job is to transfer anything energy from these red fibers up here to anything energy down here with these red fibers. It is the crossover point. It's where energy transfers through and activates the core power zone of our body. And majority of people don't have their core power zone turned on. So we tend to carry more pressure in that low back area, as well as carrying more pressure here in this white, which pulls on our hips and causes sciatic pain. We've all familiar with sciatic pain or piriformis syndrome. Or if we have an imbalance, we'll have a hip flexor problem here in the front. So we can have a hip flexor strain, but it's really a foot ankle problem, or it is a problem because you're not firing the glute, and you can't fire the glute unless you push your big toe into the ground. So it all starts down low. But anything that's white, very hard to stretch and requires a lot of pressure in order to change the tension on that line. So we're going to worry about strengthening here on the tibialis anterior, because we all have to be able to pick up our foot and walk forward. So it's not going to, you can't over strengthen the front of the leg in order to walk. You can create an imbalance, which would cause you to walk a little differently from a gait pattern analysis, and that's on a case-by-case basis for me to be able to share that with you. But if you have a weak foot, a weak lower leg, and those muscles are not balanced the way they should be and absorbing energy like they should, then you're going to for sure run into problems, into lower leg pain, knee pain, hip pain, back pain, and works all the way up the chain. So hopefully that's not too confusing for all of you. I know you all like to have the anatomical description. And so if you don't understand what the shin is and you don't understand what the tibialis is, then why do you need to have this product? But truth be known, if you've had an ankle sprain, a total knee replacement, any kind of a knee injury, any kind of a foot problem, so any kind of pain below the waist, you need this product. So I'm going to show you how it works. All right. One of you is going to walk away with this product today. So make sure you're continuing to comment and ask questions, because we want to be able to gift this to one of you and send it to your front door and for being part of our special launch today. Water does the body good. Our body is about 70% water. So if you don't have enough water in your system, your body's not going to feel all that great. So this right here, my friends, is called the ShinBlitz. And the ShinBlitz Tibialis Trainer weighs only 4.4 pounds. So that's why I can carry it just between two fingers. It has these foam stabilizer pads to be able to put on the ankles. And then the rest of it is actually made of a powder coated steel. And like I said, there are always products that we'd like to have at home, but if we were to try and invent them ourselves and make them in the way that we have produced them here at Life Pro for all of you, then it would be very hard for you to make this product, even if you knew how to make it and had the stuff. They make these products so nice with the steel and the how it's painted with you know, all these seamless welded seams, the padding, and then this right here comes off, and this is where the weight goes on. No, it is not a rocket booster. It is not a t-shirt slingshot machine. It's not a potato gun. It is a ShinBlitz, okay? I know what you're all thinking. Man, that looks like something fun. Like we can like launch stuff out into the crowds if we can remove that. I know that's what it reminds me of, right? But no, we're actually going to use this to lift our weights in order to make our body stronger. It uses these plates that you can buy at your local sporting goods store on Amazon. Okay, I know, right, Kelly? Okay, and so these, you don't have to have any specific weight based on what you think you need to try. Less is better to start with, but this is a standard plate that you would use on an Olympic weight set at the gym. You can buy these at your local Walmart or Target, sporting goods store, like I said, on Amazon, but it is just a weighted plate. It has to have a 2-inch diameter, okay? So it will use a 2-inch diameter weight, and it just slides on like that. So super easy, sliding on, sliding off, okay? And the dimensions of this right here, so if we're looking at how long it is, it's 16 inches long. We've got 14 inches in width, and then it's 8 inches high. So if we're looking all the way around, it doesn't really take up that much space. But the most important thing that you need to remember is you need a 2-inch diameter weight to go on the end of it, okay? Now, here's the thing. According to the user manual, it says that this can have a max weight load of 220 pounds, but I'm just going to tell you, if you're lifting 220 pounds with this, you're absolutely crazy. Because nobody should be lifting 220 pounds on this. So do not try and lift 220 pounds on this, because nobody should be doing that. There's no purpose in doing that. So the max weight load on this is 220 pounds, but you don't need that. So I want you to think little, okay? So here in front of us for demo purposes, we have a 2.5, we have a 2.5 pound weight, we have a 5 pound weight, and we have a 10 pound weight, okay? So we have a lot of different sizes. And guess what? Because this tube is so long, you can combine weights. You can stack them if you need to, okay? So yes, 2-inch diameter is what I typically, that's what most standard have for a weighted bar. It also comes with the Nordic hamstring curl strap. I'm not going to demonstrate that today because I want to make this more about the tibialis muscle, but that comes with the strap that you can stay grounded. Okay, now what I want you to remember, you're going to want to wear shoes with this because we're loading weight on the tops of our feet, and we want to make sure that our feet are protected. So if you think about gas pedal, so if we're sitting in the car and we're pushing on the gas, guess what I'm using? I'm using the tibialis anterior, and that's the muscle we're going to strengthen here today. Okay, so we're on the gas pedal. So I want you to think your gas pedal muscle. Make sure that you can all see this. We got our gas pedal muscle. So push and pull, push and pull. Okay, so we can sit here and we can pretend like we're dancing by moving our feet. Okay, just tapping, toe tapping. You're gonna feel here on the front of your shin, that's gonna get really sore just doing a little tappity, tappity, tap, tap. But that's the muscle we're trying to strengthen. So what is the test for you here at home? I want you to drop down wherever you're at, whether you're sitting on the couch, sitting in the chair, sitting at a stoplight, and I want you to gas pedal, okay? I want you to gas pedal. Push on the throttle, release. Push on the throttle, release. Lead foot down, and then release, okay? And I want you to do that for a series of, let's say, 10. And I want to know from all of you, is that sore for you? Do you feel that in your lower legs? Does it feel tight tension on your knees? Do you feel it in your shin? Or is your foot too tired to do that? Because we all have to drive a car most of the time. And if we're not driving a car, then we're walking. And if we're not walking, then we still have to be able to roly-poly and do different things. So yes, you're going to be able to feel that all the way into your calf, because as you saw in my anatomy lesson earlier, whatever is happening here is shortening, back here in the calf is lengthening. So even though we're not shortening the calf muscle, we're still strengthening the muscle on the backside of the calf, because we're using that to what's called eccentrically load, which is actually the fastest way to get strong. So it's like a win-win all the way around for the lower leg. So gas pedals, or a little bebop, a little dance motion, just back and forth. And I want to see how many times you can do that. Now, here's the problem. Most of you, when you're doing that, most of you have your heels out in front of you and you're not getting the full range of motion. So another way that you can do this is just keeping your knees directly over your foot, okay? Knees directly over, and try and do that, because that is a lot harder to do. And that you're going to feel that right up that whole muscle all the way up into your knee. And that's the muscle we're going to work on. That's one of the muscles we're going to work on. Okay. So I'm curious to see how you're all feeling. Yes, you're feeling it in your calves and you're feeling it in the front, feeling it on the outside front of the ankle. Perfect. So you're going to notice wherever you feel it first, that's your weakest link, and you're only as effective as your weakest point. Okay. We're only as fast as our braking system. So how does this work? Well, I'm just going to start with just a little 2.5 pounder. We're going to put it on there. It comes with we call this a collar, okay? So comes with a collar. And I know, has nobody ever checked how strong your legs really are? Most people don't just stop and just boppity boppity bop. A little secret for all of you. There are like 5 things that I like to do when nobody's around, that I am able to do no matter where I'm at, no matter who I'm with, what time of the day is. There are 5 things that I can enjoy that make me really happy, that make my heart beat a little bit faster. And dancing is one of them. I've always loved to dance, even if it looks terrible, but I have fun dancing, right? I always love to teach and share, which is what we're doing right here, right now. I always love to heal through my body work. And even though I'm not touching and feeling all of you, we're still healing together, which is what makes me happy. I love to be able to learn, and I had to learn today about this product because I wasn't familiar with it. And it's not something that I've seen this specific one in the gym, but there are more expensive versions of this in the gym. That's why I didn't recognize it. And let's see here. So we've got dancing, we've got learning, we have, I like to be outside. I like to work with my hands in my gardens. So I love like flowers and working with plants and working with the ground and things like that. So those are 5 things that I love to do no matter where I'm at, what time of the year it is. If I've got time, those are things that make me happy, make my heart flutter a little more, that require nobody with me and don't require any money. So I like to dance. So nonetheless, 2.5 pounds on here, and then the collar is on here. Yeah, it looks like a potato gun, right? So, but you don't have to, you can get these weights from your local Walmart, Target. You can get it at on Amazon. You can get it at your local sporting goods store majority of the time. It doesn't take much. So this is just 2.5 pounds, okay? Now what we're gonna do, these big fluffy pads are supposed to go over my foot, okay? So my foot is out here in front, okay? So there we go, all right? Right? Or let me show you this. This is another way to do this. You can be sitting on your bed at home and you're just gonna position it over the top of your shoe like such. And from here, I'm just pulling my toes up towards my nose. And this is just 2.5 pounds. And I'm feeling this all the way up into my butt cheeks, my friends, all the way up. So if you're wanting to work your entire leg, you don't need a lot, okay? If we're working more on the deep lower part of the leg, you're gonna keep your knees bent more, and we're just gonna work the lower leg. So I can feel this all the way up into my shin, into my knee, and a little bit here on top of my leg, on my quad. But if I go leg straight, okay, and I'm firing away like somebody's getting ready to nail me right there in the quad, so I'm gonna tighten up, and I work it from here, now I can feel it going all the way up into my back and into my butt cheeks. And we're just lifting 2.5 pounds. But when we add gravitational energy down to it, then the weight automatically goes up to lifting, okay? It does not look complicated at all because it's not complicated at all. So make sure if you're struggling with lower extremity pain all the way up into your low back, the ShinBlitz is an easy way to help, but you can start with less. So this is just 2.5 pounds. So let me show you. So we just pop that little clip. So let me show that to you up close, okay? So we just take this, we pop the clip forward, we just slide that off, okay? So there's your collar. The weight just slides right off, okay? 2.5 pounds. And now we're gonna go to a 5 pounder. The weight looks different because it's a different brand. Doesn't matter which brand you use. And then it goes right on top, easy peasy. Yes, it can, Janice, help with sciatica because sciatica can be a problem of absorption and having to work a lot harder because the lower body is not doing its job. So it can help with sciatica. Okay, now from here, we're gonna put my toes just like that. So you can see from the side, okay? And then again, we're just gonna release the feet. So push the gas pedal down and pull up on the gas. Gas pedal down, pull up, vroom, vroom, pull on the brakes, right? So throttle down, pull on up. So we're just back and forth. That's an easy way to remember. Holy moly, I can feel this in my big toe. I can feel it on top of my foot. Okay, so what can we do to not have to feel it in our big toe if we don't want to feel it in our big toe? Well, another thing that you can do is we can actually just work the knees and the quads. So from here, I'm just going to straighten and slowly release. Straighten, slowly release, okay? And as I'm straightening, I'm tightening up these muscles, okay? So I want you to focus on squeezing and pulling through here on top of the, on the inner side of the kneecap. So we have our kneecap, and then right here on the inside. It's hard to see because I got black tights on today. So I'm feeling this all the way up into my lower belly, this exercise right here, okay? Now, if we want to make this multiple position, so I'm going to do some gas pedals up and down, and then I can actually keep the gas pedal pulled back, and I can just raise my legs. So we can, it's multi-joint, okay? Multi-joint. Now, if I slide back on my bench and have my ankles supported, now I'm just working, I'm only working through the lower leg and into the shin. All right? So that's 5 pounds. Now that's really challenging. I'm going to be honest with you. That is really challenging. So if we go into the next, well, let's see here. I made it tight. That's a good problem. Oh, there we go. So there's a little push button there. Didn't notice that. Let me show you that. That's a little trick. So we got this little push button here. So once I clip that in, it locks in, locks in. So we push this little button and then pop, and then it opens. So close, pop, and open, okay? And that just slides. So now I'm gonna take the 5 off, and instead of going straight to 10, okay, you can add the 2.5 to the 5 and make 7.5. And trust me, 2.5 pounds difference of going 7.5 to 10 is huge. So less is better until you know how your body's going to handle it. But we just pop that on there. And there's our 10-pound ShinBlitz trainer. Okay, so from here, again, I'm going to put that down. And again, this is a lot heavier. So there we go. So up and down. And the heavier the weight, again, the more sore you're going to be if you're not used to it. So I'm going to slide my body back. And we're just lifting gas pedal. So gas pedal push and release. Whoo, yes. So if you're wanting to fix them shin splints, okay, now here's the kicker. If we're wanting to fix the backside, I'm holding this isometric contraction. Slow motion is what's going to fix this here in the front eccentrically. So if I'm pulling the gas pedal back constantly, that is the shortening, okay? But if I'm going really, really slow and controlling it going away from my body, that's what's really going to gain the strength here in the front of the leg fastest, because we're lengthening as we're strengthening. Lengthening and strengthening. That's the best way to get strong. Most effective, more endurance, better for you. Doesn't make you as tight either because you're stretching as you're stabilizing. Okay? And so we just also want to make sure that we're not locking our knees out. So don't ever lock your knees out when you're doing these exercises. So there you have it, my friends. That is your ShinBlitz Tibialis Trainer. And that, again, helps with shin splints. I'm going to tell you, somebody asked me about restless leg syndrome earlier. Restless leg syndrome happens more from some restless leg syndrome happens more because the fibers and the connective tissue in the lower leg are bound and fibrotic and are stuck together. So if you can vibrate those lower legs and then follow up with strengthening, that's going to help your restless leg syndrome. If you just do strengthening, you're not going to feel better with restless leg syndrome because you're continuing to compact and fuse. So vibration, mechanical vibration is what we call an excitatory application. And so what it does, whether it's the vibration platform or whether it's one of our massage guns or the vibrating foam roller, it's causing those muscles to micro twitch, which causes them to become excited and breaks them away from the murky, sticky, gluey substance that holds our body together. Think about sticky honey being stuck in between all of your tissues in the lower body. And when we don't move after a period of time, the gluey honey or the sticky honey just continues to get thicker and thicker and thicker. And as it does that, it starts to glue all the surrounding structures together to where they can't move like they're supposed to, which changes circulation, which changes nerve conductivity, which changes the brain's perception of what's happening. So in order to clear up that sticky honey glue, we want to be able to push clear fluid through there using those lymphatic processes, the pumping, and strengthening does that, but we want to make sure that we're actually using the vibration stimulation in order to get those muscles to twitch, in order to break free, so that we can actually lengthen and shorten. Because if they're glued together, then the muscles can't lengthen and shorten because they're stuck. So the vibration actually breaks them up and allows them to be able to lengthen like they're supposed to. So I hope that makes some sense. I might have a picture of what that looks like. So I'm doing a special certification right now with some doctors in Europe that are doing updated studies on fascial connective tissue, and it's been really, really cool to learn what that stuff is like. I do not have a picture handy, but I'll make sure and have a picture soon. I had a picture online, but I don't think I have it with me. So I'll bring that to your attention next time. But we definitely want, in order to get the restless legs, is because the sticky glue is like bounding everything together. So we want to get those muscles twitching, and you can do that for with the mechanical vibration, whether it's the foam roller, the serger, whether it's one of our vibration platforms, or whether it's a massage gun. Is there an exercise guide in the manual? It is not in the manual, but I do believe that they're coming out with a poster that includes all of that. And then you can always come back to this video because it's very simplistic. There's not a lot that you do with this tool. It's very limited in what you're doing, and that is just isolating those lower leg exercises. So we can have a workout together in the future in which I'm happy to lead, and we can do it all together. Now, for those of you that do not have a bench, let me show you how you can do this. So we'll eliminate the bench to make this more realistic to those of you at home. And this is how it goes. So, because you know me, I like to hack into everything. I like to figure out ways to do everything. All right, so if we're sitting on the floor, oh, you're making my brain think creative thoughts. We're gonna start out with just 5 because 5 is still a lot when you're just working that little lower leg. Okay, and so here we go. So I got my legs out straight. Looky there. Now, I am rocking because I got a lot of floof in this rump, and so it's easy to pivot on my booty. So this right here is an easy way to do it. Another thing you can think of is legs in the air, release, and pull. Okay, so you can do this legs in the air. Check this out. We can do kind of a core. You don't want to slam the tip into the floor. That's a no-no. That is a no-no. But what we can do, put your hands underneath, and from here, we're tapping, or from right here, we can tap in the air while we stabilize underneath. So we can activate those abs. We can go legs up in the air, straight through. You just don't want to come too far this way. I mean, it's going to stay put, but you don't want the gravity directly in line with your face. So working this, I'm actually getting hamstring activation back here, getting some calves. So there's all different ways you can do it if you have the support to do it. So you don't want to do something you're not ready to do. I'm sitting in a rowing position. So you can sit in a rowing position on the floor, do a little tappity tap, 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 okay? And I'm still feeling this, but like I said, it's not as isolated because my booty is rocking with me, okay? So legs out in front, really, really good stretch. So if you're trying to find a way to stretch out those shins and trying to stretch out the top of your foot, you're just gonna put a heavier weight on the bar and it will actually pull you into a stretched out position. So if you're trying to find ways to stretch the shins, again, we're using heavier weight to pull you down. Make sure that you're not locking the knees out completely. So slight bend to those knees and pulling back, nice and easy, okay? And then from there, if you're just wanting to pull back from the gas pedal, there's your shortening, okay? So you can do all of these things at home without having to have a couch or a chair. When it comes to having one of our horizon balance trainers, so if we've got a horizon balance trainer, so we're sitting up on the horizon balance trainer, same thing. We can just do a little bopping back and forth, and you can work the shins that way. So instead of rocking my booty on the ground, I'm rocking stable on the horizon while working the shins. So yes, you can use it from a variety of different positions. All right, so hopefully, yes, it's definitely much easier than dumbbells. I'm glad you all like my sense of humor. Okay, we have a winner for today. I want to say thank you to everybody for being part of our episode today. Louise Walpin, Louise, Louisewalpin. Louise or Lois, however you pronounce your name, I'm so sorry. Yes, you are our winner. So if you could please send us a message with your shipping address, your phone number, and an email address so we can confirm getting that product to you. You are the winner of today's product, the ShinBlitz Tibialis Trainer. And again, those of you that didn't win, it is $39.99 today for a limited time only. And then it goes up to our regular price is around $89.99. So if you're able to get it on super sale, more than half the price off, today is the day to do that. So make sure you click buy now and they will post a link. And if you can't, if you go to our website, lifeprofitness.com, then you will see new products available or newly released, and that's an easy way to purchase. Luis, if you just want to send me your information via text message, I'll make sure that Joel and our team gets it to you. Anybody that has questions, feel free to reach out to us. The email address to contact our customer support for questions is support@lifeprofitness.com, support@lifeprofitness.com, and I can be reached directly 317-446-7971. If you have questions, it might take me a while to get back with you, but if you're needing assistance and you can't get through to our customer service support for whatever reason, I do not provide the customer support on my end of things, but I'm always able to communicate to making sure that you're getting taken care of. So, but if you would like to text me your information, Luis, that would be great. And the rest of you, I hope you have a most magical weekend, whether it's raining or it's shining or it's snowing or it's exactly how you want it to be. I'm going to be traveling to watch my daughter play volleyball, so I get to enjoy some time with her, watching her do what she loves, which makes me very happy, makes my heart beat a little faster. But I might be caught seen dancing in the stands a little bit because I like to dance even when everybody's watching, even though I probably don't look so good. So you guys have fun. Do a little dance of your own at home. Figure out if those shins are strong and if you need that ShinBlitz, and if so, this weekend is the time to order it so that you're getting in it at that super valuable price. So until next time, I will plan on seeing you next Friday, same time, and we will be bringing out yet another product, or you'll get one-on-one live with me on how to do some different exercises. So have a most wonderful day, and thank you all so much for watching on behalf of Life Pro. We've got you and you've got us from the convenience of your home. Thanks so much.